So you're getting familiar with the 2-up matched betting offer, also known as the 2 goals ahead early payout offer. You understand it, but now you're not sure on which games you should be betting on. In this video, I'm going to show you some key things to look out for when attempting the 2-up early payout offer. I'll show you my 2-up strategy, and I'll show you other people's strategies so you can choose the best one that works for you. Hey guys, The Frugal Life here, back with another video. On this channel we typically talk about matched betting and personal finance, so if that's your sort of thing, give the video a like and hit that subscribe button. This is a follow-up to my previous video where we talked about the 2-up basics, so if you haven't seen that, I'd recommend you watch that first. In this video we're going to go over how I like to pick a good 2-up attempt, how to manage qualifying losses, how much your back bet should be, and if you stick to the very end, I'll show you how to do the offer for free in such a way where you have no qualifying losses. The 2-up offer is available on many leagues and competitions, which means we have a wide selection of games that we can bet on, but not all of them are worth doing. On Instagram, I've had a few people ask me, oh, how do you know what teams to bet on? That team had terrible form. Why did you pick them? How do you know? And the truth is, I don't. I can't predict when 2-ups will happen. I don't have any sort of secret insider information. And as much as I love spreadsheets, I don't keep track of every single team and all of their stats. The main thing that I consider is risk versus reward. How much am I putting at risk and what's my potential return? So in a matched betting context, I want to reduce my qualifying losses to as little as possible, reducing my risk, and I want my potential payout to be as high as possible. And as usual, it's all about the back odds and the lay odds. So if I want little risk or a small qualifying loss, I need to find back odds and lay odds that are close together. But if I want a high reward or a high 2-up payout, I need back odds and lay odds to be as high as possible. And this usually means backing the underdog. Some people prefer backing the favourite, but I really don't. By backing the favourite, the odds may be close together, but they'll be quite low. A £50 back bet when the odds are close and low might give me a small qualifying loss, but the payout won't be so great. So that small potential payout won't even be worth the risk of that qualifying loss. But with the same £50 back bet, when the odds are close and high, my potential turns will be a lot higher. Both the tightness and the size of the back and lay odds are important, and both of them need to be looked at in tandem. If you hit both of those points, you'll find a good quality 2-up. So how much should you back? For me, instead of having a fixed amount that I back on every single 2-up attempt, I change my back stake depending on the back odds and the lay odds. So my current strategy is having a £3 qualifying loss or less, as long as it makes me over £150 in profit. If I have a smaller qualifying loss to win around 150, that's great. If I have a £3 qualifying loss to win well above 150, that's great as well. But the minimum for me is a £3 qualifying loss to win at least 150. So when considering different games, I open the calculator, I punch in different numbers and see if I can achieve my £3 qualifying loss to win over £150. If the back and lay odds won't give me that, even when I change my back stake size, I won't place the bet. But to take this a level further, two different people with the exact same match with the exact same odds, by changing the size of the back stake, you'll scale both your qualifying loss and your potential payouts. So if you've been doing this for a while and you have a large bankroll, then you might be okay with the higher qualifying losses, but also the higher payouts. But maybe if you're new to this, you might be better off finding qualifying losses of £1 or less. That's exactly what I did when starting out, and you can still find some nice potential returns doing that. So with 2-ups, the more goals, the better. You just hope that they happen in the correct order. So if you want to be a little bit more picky and deliberate with your 2-up choices, you can look at the likelihood of there being a high scoring game. To do this, you can look at the over-under market and look at those odds to get a feel for the likelihood of a high scoring game. I can understand why some people would do this, but I don't do this myself. Me personally, I don't want to add an extra step in my search. If it's a good quality match, I'll place the back and lay bet right then and there, and then I'll check the odds matcher later to see if there's any other good quality matches. I wouldn't leave a 2-up opportunity just because there wasn't a high likelihood of a high scoring game. I also want to briefly touch on cashing out. So after your team goes 2 goals ahead and you've triggered the early payout offer, it is possible to cash out and guarantee profit right then and there before the game is finished. Some matched bettors cash out as soon as their team goes 2 goals ahead. Some people wait for their team to go 2 goals ahead and for the other team to pull back 1, and then they'll cash out. And at that point they can cash out for more profit. And some people wait for the full turnaround. Your team goes 2 goals ahead, the other team pulls back 2, and at that point they would cash out for even more profit. And you can do a combination of all of these. Me, I usually just place my initial back bet, place my initial lay bet, and then I would leave the game. The way I see it, you can cash out more regularly, so you'll profit more frequently, but those profits will be a lot smaller. Or you can let it ride completely and hope for a full turnaround. This means you won't profit as often, but those individual profits will be a lot higher. I prefer the latter because I don't mind the big swings and I don't want to babysit my laptop waiting for a cash out. That being said, occasionally I might do the odd cash out. only if it's convenient with whatever I'm doing. If, for example, there was 30 minutes left in the game, I could cash out for 130, or I could wait and potentially get 150. That £20 difference is not worth it to me, and I'll probably just cash out. But usually after placing those back and lay bets, I'd be getting on with something else, like editing videos or playing Call of Duty. I'll have a video showing you how to properly cash out of a 2-up using the early payouts calculator. You can find it in the description of the video or in the top right hand corner of the screen. If the video isn't up yet, subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified when the video gets released. At the beginning of this video, I said how you could do this offer without any qualifying losses. To do this, you need to find a game where the back odds and the lay odds are exactly the same. In the odds matcher, these will show rated as 100%. So when doing 2-ups on these, worst case scenario, your back bet and your lay bet will cancel out perfectly, giving you a 0 pence qualifying loss. But if the 2-up gets triggered, then you can get some really healthy profits. So essentially you're risking nothing to potentially being paid hundreds of pounds in profits, depending on the back odds and the lay odds of course. So if I'm looking for 2-ups and I see a 100% rated bet, I'll place that back bet and lay bet as fast as possible. Even though I prefer backing the underdogs because their odds are usually higher, you'll usually find these 100% rated bets being on the favourites. And because I'm risking nothing to win something, I'll take that trade every single time. So your next logical question might be, well, if I have a 0 pence qualifying loss, then I should back as much as I can, right? Not quite, and I'll show you why. With my criteria that I laid out earlier, again, having a £3 qualifying loss or less to win £150 or more, depending on the back odds and the lay odds, that usually gives me a back stake of £40 to £80, usually about there. And websites like Bet365 will understand my betting patterns and know what I typically bet. So if I find a 100% rated bet and I have a back stake of £1,000, that's going to look very suspicious, as that's completely outside of my betting patterns. So based on that, I don't want to take my back stake much over £100. I love making profits, but I also want to preserve the life of my accounts so I can continue doing this. This is just my opinion, so if you disagree with me, you can tell me how wrong I am in the comments below. There's more when it comes to 2-ups, but we'll save those for another video. As usual, check out OddsMonkey if you want to learn how to start match betting. In one of the next videos, I'll show you how to find and place these 2-ups using the odds matcher. Again, whenever the video goes live, I'll have it linked in the description and in the cards. Give the video a like if you found it helpful, and hit that subscribe button so you can see all my future videos on match betting and personal finance. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.